Welcome to the next episode of MarchFifteen in Conversation. Today I'm privileged to be in the presence of a good friend and a friend of MarchFifteen, McKenzie, who is the founder and chief questioning officer of the most nifty little firm that focuses on strategy execution management called What If. Welcome.
Well, great to be here with you. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you.
Thank you. You've been in the business of supporting organizations in crafting strategic plans and helping them, making sure that they do something with the strategic plan for quite a few years. I think that you have an amazing experience of what works and what doesn't work. So let's focus our conversation on that today. Would it be okay?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
So we know that every day millions of dollars are lost because organizations spend tons of money on creating strategic plans, strategic intent, but they suck at executing it and they don't reap the benefits of the strategic intent that made everybody exciting in the first place. Any thoughts as to why is this the case?
Yeah, that happens a lot, more than we'd all care to admit. And I've seen statistics that say 75% of all strategies fail to deliver intended value or what they wrote up as what's going to be the value proposition. And I think it comes down to a couple of fundamental things. First and foremost, are we solving the right problem? And I think often what we do is we grasp the convenient problem or the political problem and not the right problem.
The polite problem.
The polite problem, or the one that's aligned to maximizing compensation or whatever the case may be. But are we first and foremost grappling with the right problem? And to do that, I think it requires getting a good sense of consensus among the leadership team about what that is, where people could speak openly, freely, and candidly about what they think the right problem is. The next step that I think where we see companies doing this better in the last few years, but still struggle with, is collaboration. Is how do we collaborate around what to do about that? Now that we've agreed what needs to be solved for, how do we do that well? How do we work together to make sure we come up with creative solutions or a series of options or plays we can put into place that will ultimately deliver on what we're going to do? And then the third thing, I often refer to this as your execution quotient. When it comes down to it, how are you going to align responsibilities, roles that may seem mundane? What's the governance you're going to put in place? How are you going to address things as they come along? And how will you know you're on track to success or need to course correct along the way? And what's your intent around doing that in a very methodical and collaborative way so that you know that you're either on the track to succeed or you're going to have to do something to get you back on track to succeed. And I think that's where the breakdown is making sure there's a linkage between those three things.
And when it comes to the executions, what I have seen, and I'll be keen to hear your perspective, is that we create this strategy and then the life continues as it did before.
Yes.
And because of lack of prioritization and clearly articulating this is what we will do and this is what we therefore will not do, people do what they've always done, and executional strategy is done on a Friday afternoon at the corner of the desk. Do you see that too?
Happens all the time. Again, I think that's part of how intentional are you around your execution. So it's often referred to as working on the business and working in the business. And I think people are so consumed with working in the business, it's hard to step back and think about what we need to do to work on the business. What's our strategy for the next 5 years? What are the things we need to do to make sure we're going to make that come to fruition? To your point, what are we going to stop doing? What are we going to not be known for? Because every decision you make about what you want to be known for, you're making a decision which you're not going to be not known for. But those legacy things, they're slow to die. They're like zombies walking the halls. They're like the Walking Dead. They just kind of hang around. So how do we make sure, exactly, how do we make sure that we're really intentional about what we want to do? And we make sure that we have clarity on, this is what we need to do to work on the business. Yes, our day jobs are still there, but we've got to set up the right structure in place to make sure we can do both.